Welcome to the So Much More podcast, where we talk with people in the custom window treatment, soft home furnishings industry, and so much more. I'm your host, Ciel DeGuglielmo. My guest on the podcast today is Jonathan Bennett. He is the owner of Unsprung Upholstery and is originally from Martinsville, Virginia. He caught the sewing bug from his great-grandmother at a young age. He moved to Richmond, Virginia on a whim in August of 1989 and earned a BFA in fashion design from Virginia Commonwealth University. Directly after graduation, Jonathan taught in the fashion design department as an adjunct professor for 13 years. He started his first workroom job in 1997. He learned how to make various types of window treatments, cushions, pillows, and more. Since then, he has done freelance workroom client projects in his home for over 25 years. He has a secret workroom there. It's not a secret anymore. Jonathan opened Unsprung Upholstery LLC in August of 2019 and will continue this beautiful journey for the rest of his life. Jonathan purchased Unsprung Upholstery, or Jonathan picked up Unsprung Upholstery because the workroom was closing and he wanted other people to continue to get a paycheck. And his passion for teaching and for learning has carried him into a whole new era for him. And I wanted to catch up with him. I recently reran his podcast because it was a listener favorite. And I got to see Jonathan recently in September of 2025 at the Custom Workroom Conference, and then again in November at the Slipcover Summit. And I said, I think we need to do a follow-up podcast. And here we are. We got to it today. So I hope you enjoy hearing from Jonathan. I hope you enjoy hearing what's changed in his business and some of the exciting things he has coming. I hope you enjoy today's podcast. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming back on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. So much has changed since the last time. So I want to share all that with people.
Well, it has, but I have to tell you that I enjoyed listening to that podcast again. That would be the third time for me, just to hear some of the things that you spoke about and knowing some of the things that have changed, because I've been in your company a couple of times in the last few months and over the last couple of years. So for anyone who doesn't know you, if you could just tell us who you are, where in the world you are, and a little bit about what Unsprung Upholstery is.
All right. So my name's Jonathan Bennett, and I own Unsprung Upholstery. And we're located in Richmond, Virginia. And with my shop, we focus on residential reupholstery mostly. Mm-hmm. We do a little commercial, but it's mostly residential. We do pillows, cushions, indoor, outdoor. We do custom things like headboards and cube ottomans and little round ottomans. And also we do fabulous slipcovers now. And as a side note, about a year ago, I started sort of a side thing under Unsprung University, or under Unsprung Upholstery, that I'm calling Unsprung University.
Okay.
And that is my education arm of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to hit that hard in 2026, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
Okay, good. And I know that was something that was very important to you. So I'm excited to talk about that with you. And I know that you got your start sewing because of your grandmother.
Yes. And she was from the Depression, and so she did all types of sewing, quilts, and she did knitting and crocheting and canning and gardening and all those things. And she did all the sewing on a Singer treadle machine that actually I have acquired.
Nice.
And it's sitting in my living room right now. But she's the one that sort of got the spark going.
Okay.
And we didn't do a whole lot together, but it was just enough.
Right.
It was just enough. And here we are.
And here we are. So I encourage people to listen to that original podcast because we don't want to cover all of that today. And I actually ended up rerunning it as a listener favorite because so many people had listened to it. So for the 2 or 3 people out there who have not heard that podcast, I'll put a link to it in the show notes and you can listen to that. But let's talk a little bit about where your business is today. How it's different from our interview a couple years ago, and start with that.
All right. So when I say we, it was me, but I say we because I couldn't do this without my team. So when we opened in September of 2019, I had no real idea what was going to go on. And the whole entire reason that I opened this company was to keep people employed. The upholstery shop that was in the space where I am now went out of business. And I didn't want their employees to be out on the street. So I said, okay, let's do this. So I did not buy it from them because there was nothing to buy. I started completely from scratch, knowing nothing, which is the craziest thing to even do and say. So we just started off slow. And the first, I guess all of 2020, at the end of the year, we missed hitting $500,000 in sales by about $20,000.
Okay.
I had no idea that was going to happen. And it's all because of COVID.
Right.
Because people weren't traveling and they were doing things in their home and around their home. So anyway, we got in on that on accident. So since then, we're just cruising right along. We currently have 5 employees and plus myself.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just knocking it out of the park. Since we opened, I didn't realize in the beginning that I needed to also carry and offer fabric to our clients.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to deal with it. Well, it didn't take long to figure out that you have to have multiple revenue streams in addition to the labor of reupholstery,
right,
to keep things moving. So some of the things that I've learned along the way are you have to consider every penny of overhead for your business, including but not limited to the rent, all of the utilities, the electrical, the gas for the heat, the water. You have to think about the cost of the dumpster to put the trash in. You have to think about the fact that you're spending X amount of money every month on your website to keep it up, the internet, all of those things, all the equipment that you have to just run a business, not even including all the equipment you need to do the business.
Right.
You have to think about if you're paying someone $20 an hour, you're really paying them like $23 or $24 an hour, because you have to consider the taxes that a business owner has to meet with payroll.
Mm-hmm.
You have to consider workers' comp insurance.
Right.
You have to consider all the insurances you have to have.
Yes.
And all of that plays into everything. And so you have to keep like 3 fingers on that pulse, because if you don't, you're going to break even at best, or worse than that, you're going to be operating in the red, which that is not the goal.
Right.
So those are some of the big things that I've learned along the way. I still learn things every day. I mean, if it's not a lesson like one of those, if you forget to pay your sales tax, well, good grief.
Yes, they will come after you for that.
They will come after you. And, if you didn't want to write that check for $1,000 to the government to begin with, and you don't do it, well, that check is going to become big quick.
Yes.
Because there's interest and there's a penalty and it compounds daily, all these things. So it's a lot to learn. Mm-hmm. And there ain't no book to read. There ain't no podcast to look at, and no YouTube video to look at. You just have to learn these lessons, hopefully not the hard way.
Right, right.
So yeah, one of the other things that I've learned is, as a business owner, you have to have boundaries of all sorts. And you have to be able to say no when no is appropriate, because no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
And it is an answer.
Jonathan, was there something in the process that hit that home for you? Was that something that did you not have boundaries in place in the beginning?
No, I did not have boundaries in place in the beginning, because previous to that, I had always worked by myself.
Okay.
And I would handle things on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
But when you're working for more of a public scenario, you have to have all of your boundaries. So what I developed was what I call the terms of service. And it goes at the end of every estimate I send out. And it says things such as, this estimate is valid for a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. It's not endless.
Right.
because we do estimates quite well, probably 99% of the time from a picture that the client would submit.
Right.
I don't have x-ray vision.
You
I
don't?
can't, I've got a lot of things going for me, but that ain't one of them. Because we can't see into the piece, we don't know what it's going to take to get it back correct.
Right.
So I state that in there. I mean, you don't ever know if you're going to have to repair a frame on the inside or not.
Right. Right.
You know, the client says, oh, it's structurally sound. Well, when we get it, it's wiggly, and you know, all that. You know, things about deposits, things about lead times, because people think that when they drop it off and go away, that the little elves in the shop are working 24/7.
Yes.
And that is not how that works. About pickup and delivery is not part of the deal. It's additional.
Right.
Because I have to pay a service for that.
Yeah.
The fact that we will take COM with stipulation, because you're not going to bring me an antique quilt and expect me to upholster your sectional sofa with it, because that is not legit.
Right.
All the things.
Right.
So I've learned with my terms of service is a fluid document. And what I mean by that is when a thing comes up in addition to what's on that list, and it's a big list, I'll pop it right in there. I don't know what that would be tomorrow, but tomorrow's a new day. This afternoon's a new afternoon. It could happen.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that you do the CYA thing.
Yes.
I don't know what that means. At all times.
Okay. Have you felt like you had to change boundaries because of employees? Have you had to change? Because you went into this like, I can't let these people lose their job.
Yes.
Not, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to own this business. This was, I need to save these people. Have you realized, or have you realized isn't the word I want to use. Have you changed how you deal with the people that work for you?
Somewhat. So in the beginning, I have a dear college friend who is in HR. And I talked to her early on because I felt like we needed to have an employee handbook. Most small shops are not going to have it. Right. They don't see the reason to have it, but you have to have it because we all have to be rowing the boat the same direction at the same time.
Right.
And so she developed a really wonderful handbook that everybody that comes on board will read and sign.
Okay.
And there's things in there about all of my employees have a key to my building. And so there's a key policy and there's a certain way we're going to operate.
Okay.
There's a harassment policy because we're not going to harass people.
Okay.
There's all those things. The thing that I dislike the most about owning a business is having to manage people.
Yeah.
Now, my people are phenomenal in every way, but it's just not easy to manage people.
Right. Everybody's got their own stuff and everybody's got their own agenda and all of that.
Yes, and they do. And I totally get it. I mean, I have my own things.
Sure.
But it's not easy. But they make it, my group makes it easier than it probably should be.
Okay.
Because they know.
Okay.
And we're all in it for the same reason. You know, we want to make a living, we want to make beautiful things, and we want to just make people's spaces really happy.
Okay.
But it's not that bad. So we just keep it all on the same page, so to speak.
Right.
And when we need to have a conversation, they'll come to me because we're just an open book.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that knows me, and a lot of people do, what you see is what you get.
Right.
And I like this all day long, 24/7.
Right.
And if you have something you need to come and talk to me about, I don't care how personal it is, I will listen to you. If I know anything, I will make a recommendation, but as far as it's going.
Right. Right. And I know you refer to some of the people who work for you as the kids because
they're so much younger than I am.
That's annoying. They keep staying young and we keep getting older.
Oh my God, true.
But I love, because I know you paid for several of them to attend CWC this year. So you're really encouraging them to learn and to, you promote their skills. I know I had the privilege of meeting your employee, Mimi, who does the slip covers for you at the Slip Cover Summit. And you don't just say, oh, they're good. You really promote their skills and support them and say what a great job they did. And it's genuine because, like you said, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's always easy. And I know that you have hired people who you thought would be with you for a while, and it turned out they either weren't a good fit or this wasn't what they wanted for their lives.
Yeah.
And so there's turnover.
Yeah.
And you've got to deal with that.
Yeah. So my young people, they range anywhere from 23 years old up to about 37 and all in between. And I've, the going post in all of the groups on Facebook, I need to hire so-and-so or this or that, the other. Where do I find them? Well, at this juncture, you're not gonna, because if you find a seasoned person, you're going to take on all of the terrible habits that they come with and all of that. I would much rather bring in somebody straight off the street that has the will and wants to learn and start them from the beginning. Because I mean, like with Natalie that does all my sewing, she's been with me for right at 5 years.
Okay.
And when she came to me, I don't know if she even knew how to use a sewing machine hardly at all, much less an industrial one. Her goal was to learn upholstery, but as we went along, she decided she wanted to just sew.
Okay.
Well, that's fine with me. And so now, well, I won't even say now, I mean, probably for the last 3 years or more, you can't tell her work from my work. And I've been at this over 30 years, and she's delightful. And anytime, anybody says, oh my God, you did such a great job. Well, I didn't do it. I just managed and wrote the check.
Right. I agree with you, Jonathan, but that the products coming out of your shop and the service that's coming out of your shop is a direct reflection of you and how you are running the business.
Yes, it is. However, if I did not have hands on that project, then I cannot take credit for it.
Okay.
I cannot. And people on, when I post things on Instagram or wherever, and people are like, oh my God, your work is so beautiful. And well, I didn't do it.
Okay.
Amy did it. Glenn did it. Somebody did it. It wasn't me.
Okay.
I just managed.
Jonathan, in our first podcast, you said you were really not an upholsterer, that you were doing some slip seats and things. Has that changed? Are you doing any more upholstery?
No, because I can tell you right now, as a business owner, I still cannot take on a client project. I have 3 things that I have taken on for clients that I have to do right now as we speak. And every day that comes, when I write my to-do list to email in so we can make sure we cover it, I put those same 3 things on that list.
Oh my goodness.
They have been on that list for 3 weeks. One is a cornice. One is a little bench for a friend's boat. And I can't remember the other one. I have to do them myself. So I'm saying at this point of the week, I said, okay, let me get through this week, and we're going to be closed for Thanksgiving Thursday and Friday. So I'm going to be bringing 2 of the 3 things to my house, my little secret workroom in the basement.
Right. That's not a secret anymore.
No, it's not. So I'm going to be bringing those home and do those over the holiday weekend because I have to do them.
So this is funny, Jonathan. I just recorded a podcast yesterday with another upholsterer who runs a shop very much like you do, but who is an upholsterer. And she said almost the exact same thing, that she cannot take on a project unless there's no deadline, because it takes her 3 times longer to get it done because she's running the business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, all the things that happen throughout the day, one of my people needs to ask a question. They need direction. Although I have people to answer the phone, sometimes I have to talk to the people.
Yes.
People walk in, although it's by appointment only, and there's 2 big signs on the door and they don't read them, whatever. But if they're going to come in and they want to throw money in the door, then come on, honey bun.
Right.
Let's talk. So all the things.
Are you in the same space that you were in last time we talked?
That is an interesting question. The short answer is yes. I'm in the process of looking around to find a much larger place to move to, because I need the space for a few reasons. We're maxed out on people where we can put people. We're almost standing on a chair to do a sofa. And I want to hire more, preferably young people. And in order to do all of that, I need more space to do it in.
Okay.
So I'm actively looking, but if anybody out there is actively looking, bless your heart, because it is not an easy road. It is not an inexpensive
No,
road.
it's not.
And I'm kind of scared, but I know good things are going to happen. And so I just have to keep going forward.
Okay. And are you looking for space that would also include space for you to grow Unsprung University?
Yes. So that's a very interesting question. And I can only say so much right now.
Okay. If you
But
want
I
me to
can tell
cut
you
this
this.
out, I can,
Nope,
Jonathan.
nope, nope.
Okay.
I can tell you some of this right now. A really wonderful friend is going to open a drapery workroom to the trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known her for several years. And I don't know, about a month ago, she started coming to my shop. I don't know, within less than 2 weeks, she came to the shop 5 times. My shop is not in her travel path. And she wasn't sure why she was stopping in. And she would stop in for 5 or 10 minutes and, hey, how you doing? What you got going? Whatever. And it occurred to me that the universe was sending her in, and neither one of us knew why. Well, the occurrence was, well, I'm looking to move, bigger space, and she's looking for a space. So why don't we see if we can keep our businesses separate? Absolutely, but put it under one roof.
Oh, wow.
Because we do similar things, but two different clienteles.
Right.
But it would just be a really wonderful partnership of
Okay.
sorts.
Right.
So we are actively looking. We're going to see a place on Friday, maybe two, to see where that takes us.
Okay.
Because, I'm all about partnering up with people.
Yes, you are.
And helping people. And then in turn, they help me. And it's just a good way to be.
Okay. Oh, that's exciting.
So that's what's coming. And so
Okay.
the space will be big enough to house Unsprung Upholstery, Unsprung University, and the workroom. And we're gonna show Richmond how to do it.
Okay, I love that. And for anyone who doesn't understand, you can't teach in the same space where you're running a business.
No, you cannot.
It's just unless that business is solely about teaching.
Yeah.
Because those are people's benches. It's where they work. It's where their tools are. And you can't clean up everything on a Friday and teach all weekend and have it ready on Monday for people to come back to the bench. And, this might seem weird, but you also can't work 7 days a week. It's just not possible.
No.
So I'm excited to see where this goes, Jonathan. We're going to have to record a third podcast.
Oh, absolutely we are. Next year, this time we'll do another one, because I'll have a whole nother additional story to tell you.
Yes, you will. So do you have more staff now than you did?
No, it kind of fluctuates for all the reasons.
Yeah.
So right now we have 5 people plus myself. And so the list is like this. I have John at my front desk part-time, and he also helps us do tear downs and things. And he does admin stuff.
Okay.
Then we have Mimi, who does slip covers and upholstery.
Okay.
We have Britt, who is also on my front desk 2 days a week. He does my payroll, and he is currently working on the bench learning upholstery. And I'll be posting some chairs he finished yesterday that you're not going to believe that a person that is this new to upholstery did.
Wow.
And I have Glenn, my master upholsterer, who's been at it for about 46 years, I think he said the other day. And then I have Natalie, who does all my sewing.
Okay.
And I have room for maybe one more person right now, but after that, we gotta go big, because we just don't have the space.
Okay. So we talked about in the last podcast a little bit about some of the challenges of training and having been with you at CWC and at the Slipcover Summit. Yeah, this is a problem. And for people to learn upholstery, it is not a 1 week event. It takes years.
Yes.
But you also can't just bring people in and say, hey, hang around for the next couple of years. I'll teach you upholstery. They have to be productive. So I love the idea that you have people doing payroll and learning upholstery at the same time. So you're getting people involved in the business, but also in the creativity part of it. And I love that.
Well, I'll tell you, so when Britt is our subject here, but when he came to me last year, maybe it was July, He came to me as a client. He had a family chair he wanted to entertain having reupholstered. And as he was going through the process of making plans to reupholster that chair, he all of a sudden decided that he was in marketing of some sort. I can't quite remember, but he was a project manager related to marketing, and he was just burned out. And he's only 37, 38 years old, 37, I think. And he was just burned out from it. And so it occurred to him that he might want to learn upholstery. So we talked about it, massaged the thought, and came up with a plan. So the plan was that he was going to sit at my front desk for 90 of his days, because he was only there part-time, because I needed him to understand what goes on from the start.
Right.
So that as he went over to the bench, he would have a better understanding of why.
Okay.
Because you can tell people to do something, but if you don't tell them why, they're not going to be as good at it. So that 90 days turned into almost a year. And I hate doing payroll. I just don't love doing it. So he took that on. He has redone both the websites and keeps them up, and the list goes on. He's so well versed. So then we said, okay, we need to pull you over here more. And so the pull you over here more is going on right now. So he works the front desk on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he's over on the bench doing something.
Okay.
And he's done enough slip seats to sink a battleship at this point. He probably didn't have to do another one ever in his life. He'd be happy. So we're now increasing his skills by doing this set of dining room chairs that, I mean, they're just incredible. The client's going to just blow a gasket when she sees them.
I can't wait to see them.
Different.
Okay.
But just know when y'all see them that Britt is real green.
Okay.
But they're real. I mean, they are stellar in every way.
Oh, I can't wait to see them. We talked about the fact that some of your more seasoned upholsterers, you pay them by the piece, and then you have people that they're training. So just like you as a business owner, it takes you 3 times as long to do your own projects because you're doing other things. That happens with those people too. Have you found a way around that problem? Is that just how it is and you've got to work with it?
So the workaround that I've found is this: if you take somebody away from the job they're doing, making their living, they have to be compensated in some way financially to stop what they're doing, to come over and help, because it's not like come see me in an hour. It's like, okay, now.
Right.
Show me now, because I can't move on. So what I do is, for my master upholsterer, I pay him extra money every day that he's in the shop as an education bonus, you might say.
Gotcha. To
fund what he's showing the young people.
Okay.
I know that other shops do it a little differently, but that's sort of what we arrived at. And Glenn and I talked about it at great length. You know, I want to compensate you for this. Oh, no. I can't ask you to do something for free. I'm not going to.
Right.
So that's how we work that out.
The sponsors of the So Much More podcast allow me to bring guests to you each week. And without them, I couldn't do it. I'm pleased as the owner of the Curtains and Soft Furnishings Resource Library that I can use the library to help sponsor the podcast as well. The library hosts the industry's largest curated collection of educational resources for the custom home furnishings professional. Membership to the library gives you access to a wealth of downloadable reference materials, videos, live events, as well as a community of support to help you develop your design, sales, and fabrication skills, and to grow or start a business. Join the library today at csfrl.org. The Workroom channel is the premier online training provider for professional fabrication skills. Go to theworkroomchannel.com to browse the selection of anytime access courses created by industry experts. Watch detailed demonstration videos, download companion materials, and participate in private course discussion boards with your instructor and classmates from around the world. Start your course path today at theworkroomchannel.com. Education, networking, visibility, and industry discounts are just a few of the benefits that are offered to members of the Window Covering Association of America. The WCAA is the only national nonprofit trade association that's dedicated to the window coverings industry and the dealers, decorators, workrooms, designers, and installers that make up our membership. The library is a gold level sponsor of the WCAA. Join today at WCAA.org. WCAA, where you are never in business alone. Discover Klimaka Studios, where innovation meets exceptional design. Klimaka fabric and wallpaper collections are inspired by the original works of collaborating artists and developed with the understanding of how fabrics are manipulated into exquisite soft home furnishings. Workroom businesses enjoy exclusive access to engineered designs and best trade pricing. From clever layouts to classic linen prints, Klimaka Studios delivers the quality and consistency that your business demands. And Klimaka's reliable, on-time delivery keeps your projects running smoothly. Go to KlimakaStudios.com for swatches and trade account information. Klimaka Studios, for the joy and profit of workrooms. There are challenges to bringing in people who are younger.
Yeah.
I feel like this profession in particular, people do stay with it a long time.
Hopefully.
And that's how it's been. Are you seeing people staying? It's a little hard to tell if they've only been with you a year or two, but are people looking at this as a long-term career? Are they invested in perfecting their skills and staying, or is it, yeah, I'm done with this job, I'm moving on to something else, or something in between?
The staff that I have right now, they are all vested in this. And the way I found to ensure them to be with me for as long as humanly possible is that I pay them properly and well, and I'm there to help them at any point of the day, and I treat them like gold. And if you've seen Janelle's video that she did the other week,
yeah,
and several of my employees speak on the video, and I did not pay them to say that. I didn't pay them to say a thing. They said every bit on their own. I did not coach them to say, you better do it. It wasn't any of that. So we have a really wonderful time, and I have built a culture of, complete inclusive. Everybody's included. Just come on. We have a good time. Even when the times are not happy because somebody's sick of working on the 45th thing or whatever,
right?
We still have a good time.
Okay.
And it's just positive and happy as far as I can tell. Until they tell me different, it's positive and happy.
Okay. And I'll put a link to that video in the show notes for anyone who hasn't seen it.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
But I don't know, if you treat people well, they'll stick with you. And honestly, if any one of my young people were to come and tell me tomorrow, I think I want to open my own business, or I think I'm going to go work with so-and-so. Well, go ahead. I've done my job. Right. I want them to stay. But I also know that if I need them down the line, that I can call on them to come and pitch in a little bit on the weekend, or, so it's, I'm not going to say it's a family because that's a weird thing to say, but it's a wonderful team.
Okay. I love that, Jonathan. I think that's fabulous. And it is hard. I think I heard a statistic this morning, and could have been made up, but, I'm older than you are, but the generation that is 60 plus still had jobs for 30 and 40 years. And the younger generation is not doing that anymore. And they may have as many as 19 or 20 jobs by the time they reach retirement. And it's still, I remember it was even hard for my dad when some of myself and some of my siblings changed jobs because he had like one job and he stuck with it till he retired. And so, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's what worked then. Yep. And I've seen evidence personally that does not work all the time for everybody, nor should we be in the same job for that length of time. But it seems to be more turnover these days, and for better or for worse. And if you're in a job that you really don't like or working at a place that's terrible, why stay?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And, and I'll say this, people don't realize, the general public nor workroom people for that matter, probably more so workroom people, but from the time we're born until the time we pass, we are either sitting, laying, reclining, leaning on something that is upholstered.
Yes.
I'm talking about from your office chair to the car, the seat in your car, the bus, if you take the bus. You go to the doctor, you're sitting on a chair in the waiting room, you're sitting on a cot in the exam room, on and on and on. Even the mattress we sleep on.
Yes.
It's upholstered.
Yes.
Even all the way to the end when we pass, and if we decide to be put in a box, that box is upholstered.
Yes.
However, the general public has no comprehension of that. No. They just think things magically appear in a box on the front porch while we were at work. Yeah. And so the upholstery trade in general is so vast that you could do, the list goes from here to you and back.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how many different, you could do automotive, you could do marine,
airplanes, or boats,
restaurants,
or everything. Yeah. It is vast. So with my people, I hope they stay with me forever, whatever that is. But if they don't, I hope they at least stay in the trade in some capacity.
Okay.
Because
we need them.
We need them. We need them.
Okay. So I'm curious, you are a very generous instructor. I've been with you for the Slipcover Summit the last 2 years, and you've taught at the Custom Work Conference. Are you seeing any difference in what people want to learn, or, and this is actually a separate question, in how people are learning? Because you mentioned YouTube University, and our attention span has been affected by, for better or for worse, there are many ways for us to learn things. But have you seen any difference in what people want to learn and then in how they're learning?
Since I'm a little bit relatively fresh on teaching classes at the shop, because I've been teaching classes for about 1.5 years now, off and on, I've been teaching the things that I want people to learn.
Okay.
So Saturday classes would be things such as how to make a throw pillow cover with welt and a zipper, or how to make a cushion cover and all that's involved in that, how to do a slip seat for a dining room chair, how to do a flanged pillow with the zipper. We did a lampshade one time. I look at it like we're going to build our skills.
Okay.
People that come to me generally are not going to go home with a throw pillow that they're going to give to somebody, or they're going to put on their sofa.
Okay.
They're going to learn how to do that with drapery lining, because they are going to bring their own domestic sewing machine, because I'm not going to let them loose on my industrial machine.
Oh, no.
So it's a skill. Everything I do is skills based.
Okay.
And the beauty of coming to do an in-person class, whether it's with me or somebody else, is that you are right there in front of a person and they can tell you what to look for, how things should, if you're doing tying springs in a chair, how it should feel, how much tension to put on something.
Okay.
Even when you're sewing, do you need to put tension on the whatever?
Right.
That's not something you're going to get off of a video necessarily.
Right.
You're not going to necessarily get that on a Zoom call one-on-one with somebody.
Right.
Because we can't both be there, put both hands on it and say, now feel this.
Right.
Feel the way that the nap on this velvet's laying. Feel the tension on this ruby twine as we're tying springs, and why. I'm a visual learner.
Same.
Don't give me a how-to book and expect me to follow it, because I can't, because there's always a step left out of the recipe, it seems. To do things in person, is just better for the vast majority of people.
For a skills-based learning situation, I think that's probably true. I mean, we have some great resources of online learning.
Yeah.
And if you've already made 1 or 2 Roman shades, then taking those courses is fabulous.
Yes.
And if you've already done more slipcovers that will sink a ship, then maybe a technique could be learned online. But if you, as you said, like just the tension of how tight is too tight to be pulling the fabric across the slip seat. If you're not there to see it or to see how the fabric is starting to ripple because you're pulling it too tight, then it's not something, that would really be a major step left out of the recipe, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. You know, okay, so if you pull it a little bit too tight, what are you going to do to get it back correct?
Okay.
You know, you turn that thing and you look at it from all directions. You walk away. You turn it in such a way that when you come back into the room, you can see the thing.
Yes.
Walk away. Go walk around the block. Go to the kitchen. Come back and look at it when you walk in. You know, when the light's raking across a velvet slip seat.
Yes.
You see all these little ripples. Well, I can tell you what to do to fix it. But if I was there in your presence, I could show you a little better.
Right. And Jonathan, you just hit on something really important, is that we are on top of what we're doing. We are literally inches away sometimes.
Yeah.
And there have been times where I've been struggling with something and I either take a picture and put the phone down. I don't look at it right away. I had an instance with a valance that I was just going crazy with. Something wasn't right. I couldn't put my finger on it. Took a picture of it, went and ate my lunch, picked up my phone and went, oh, that's what the problem is, because I could see it from a fresh perspective. And I think that's, again, hands-on is where that makes a difference.
Absolutely. And you're right about the picture, because I'll tell you one thing. We get intimate with our projects because we do them with love. Most of the time, not always, most of the time. And if you take a picture, that picture is going to tell you so much more.
Yes.
Because of the lighting mostly. To tell you what's not quite right.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do to problem solve and fix it.
Right. I love that. So I'm curious, you stated that the length of time that you've been teaching, have your methods changed at all in that time? Are you learning anything about teaching that you've changed?
I don't know if my methods have changed. I will say when I was teaching in the fashion department at VCU, a lot of what I did there was technology things like Photoshop and Illustrator and things like that is just beyond me now. But I figured out on day one that I wanted all the kids, and there were like 20, 18-year-olds per class, and it was a 9 o'clock class. I would say, okay, here's a picture of where we're going to end up. And I want to go through 5 steps, and I want you to just watch me.
Okay.
And I would go through and explain each step as we go. Then I would remove that, and I would say, now, all together now, we're going to do this 1 step at a time and do exactly what I tell you, and don't go ahead. And we would all do it step by step by step. Then I would answer any questions, and I would say, now I'm going to erase this off, and I want you to do it for yourself right now, or we're all right here. Don't ask your friend next door because they don't know either. Ask me. They would go through it. I don't like homework. I don't like to give homework. But what I would ask them to do was that day, before they went and took an afternoon nap, before they went out clubbing, before they went to bed that night, take 15 minutes of your time, just 15 minutes, and redo what we did today in class.
Okay.
And if you do that before you sleep, it will stick in your head much better. Okay. Now, it may not stick 100%, but it'll stick much better.
Right.
And so that's always been my approach. And then when we do classes at the shop, I have a finished product. This is what we're going to make, but we're going to make it in drapery lining. But this is what you can do.
Okay.
And these are all the components about it. And then we just have everything cut and ready.
Okay.
And we do everything with drapery lining because it's thin and it works on domestic machines.
Okay.
We go through it step by step, and then they have a working sample to document 3 or 4 pages of a dissertation of how to do. take it home and do it.
All right, so that's really interesting to me, Jonathan, because I wonder, especially in this day and age where we have shorter attention spans and we want things delivered to our front door today.
Uh-huh.
Do you ever get any pushback on that? Well, why would I make it out of lining? I want to make it so it'll look nice on my pillow. I understand what you're doing. You are teaching a skill. You are not teaching to bring home a pillow. You are teaching a lifelong skill to these people.
Yes.
Do you ever get any pushback on that? Are people ever trying to do something different, or do they understand?
I make it very clear on the website that this is skills-based. So I have to set them up so that they know what they're getting.
Okay.
And we also talk about it on the phone with each potential student. And I say, now, this is what we're doing. And this is why we're doing it.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to cut into your, $5,000 yarn Romo fabric that was woven with baby tears and have a flub up. Because we've all done it.
Yes, we have.
And so it's just a protection for you. And they're, oh, I get it. That sounds great.
Okay. I was curious about that.
Yeah.
What do you love best about teaching?
I'm not a religious person one bit. I'm probably not even spiritual, but I believe that the universe, in conjunction with karma, has a lot to do with my life. And if I give, I get things back tenfold.
I agree.
And if I can help a person learn a thing and it helps them out of depression for the day even, it just gives them a thrill to say, I did this. And to be able to take that thing and show people and say, I did this, it just does something to your soul. And, I don't necessarily operate planning, okay, if I do this, then I'm going to expect so-and-so. There ain't no expectation.
Right.
I just expect that you're good, that I'm going to just show you what you need to know.
But history has shown you that when you live your life like that,
Yep,
it comes back to you. And
it absolutely comes back.
Jonathan, I couldn't agree with you more. I've said that many times when volunteer opportunities came to me in this industry. Every time I said yes, the benefits to me were much greater than any time I gave. And I had to be careful at a certain point to say, am I saying yes because I'm really volunteering, or am I waiting to see what good thing is going to happen to me afterwards?
It's true. And, in this business, I've learned that clients, whether they're student clients or whether they're retail clients, you're not just doing something for them for the money. What you're ultimately doing is you are building relationships. And I mean that from the bottom of the heart here. The clients that I have are so wonderful. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how wonderful they are. And when I send my people out to deliver a job, I might get a text, I might get a wonderful, sweet email, a phone call even. And it's always like, thank you for the opportunity to do this.
Right.
And they're like, well, I got more. I'm sending my neighbor on da-da-da-da-da. And so you build those relationships, right, and they will come back to you.
Jonathan, I feel like, when we hear business advice and people talk with us about how to run our businesses, it's not personal, it's business. But what we do is personal. And we're in the most intimate spaces in a person's life. And as you said, we are creating pieces or fixing pieces that they sit on, that they spend hours on, that they rock their babies in, that they hold their loved ones in. And that, to me, yes, somebody not liking something that I did really may not be personal. It's more about them than me and all of the above. But we are providing function as well as beauty to the spaces that people spend an enormous amount of time in. And I think I hear so often from people, the favorite part of the job is the hug or the text or the look on people's faces when they see the completed project, because it is personal at that point. Yes, we still need the paycheck. Yes, we still need them to pay us. Yes, we still need to have boundaries and explain just because you dropped it off today unexpectedly doesn't mean it's going to be ready tomorrow.
Yep.
But that look when people see the finished product is just...
It's priceless.
Yes.
You cannot put a dollar figure on the reaction from people when they brought in some thing that looked like who shot who and what for. And then weeks later they come back to get it and they're like, oh my God, this was my great grandmother so-and-so.
Yes.
Or whatever, my great aunt's thing. And they don't know what to say.
Right.
And that's the big reward, no matter. I mean, the money's still good, but it just does something to your soul. It just does something to your soul that I cannot explain.
I agree. And I think there are a lot of people nodding their head and going, oh yeah, I get that. And if you're not getting it, then you probably haven't finished a product yet.
Exactly. And the truth is, in this day and age, with all that's going on in the world, good, bad, indifferent, to bring a vision to life for somebody,
yeah,
whether it's a redo of a chair, a throw pillow, a duvet cover, a window treatment, whatever, it just, I don't know, it just brings some light into everybody's life that we all need right now.
Absolutely agree with that. Jonathan, you talked about the struggles of running, and we've talked about a little bit today, running a business, still getting work done, how long the projects take you, payroll, all of that. Has it gotten any easier for you?
Somewhat. I mean, I've done this for long enough, especially with this 6-year business, that I can handle multiple things all at one time.
Okay.
You know, I can see, I feel like a doctor. I can see a client every 30 minutes, you know, and now I'm building my support team behind the scenes, so to speak, so that I can hand them things that they know what to do from that point. So I can see the next one.
Okay.
I've also learned, and I tell this to people that are new in the business that come to me for help, I have figured out my lane. And I stay in my lane.
Okay.
And what I simply mean by that is I know the list of things that we do and we do well.
Okay.
I know the list of things that we do not want to do. When I hire somebody, especially a seasoned person, my first question is, what are the things you do not want to do? Because I do not want to bring those in for you to do.
Right.
Right? Because I want a happy ship rowing.
Yeah.
So the things that we don't do include, but are not limited to, anything that rolls, floats, or flies. We don't touch it. We don't do recliners too much. We don't do overstuffed Michelin man looking furniture. We don't do things that are purchased on Wayfair, Value City, Big Lots. None of that. We will rarely do a commercial job because it takes way more time and effort that you don't necessarily get paid for before you even start.
And they have different deadlines then.
Yes. And different parameters and, you know, all of the things. So I always tell people, pick a lane and stay in it for a while until you have accomplished the 2 or 3 things, not many things, 2 or 3 things in your lane. Do slip seats. There's a million different kinds. You can make a wonderful living for yourself doing slip seats. Do slip seats, throw pillows, and cushions. Do that for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. And then start hedging out into the exit, let's say the on ramp to the highway.
Okay.
And I mean, just take a half a step over and again, perfect that. Then take another half a step over, perfect that. Don't take everything that comes your way.
Right.
If you're new at sewing and you're new at workroom of any sort, for God's sake, don't take 3-mile tall draperies with 45 trims this week and then take on slipcover sectional sofa next week. You're setting yourself up for failure.
And the stress of, I mean, we all say we can learn how to do anything.
Yeah.
But if you're running a business, you need to be making money and not learning every new project that comes down the pike.
Exactly. I mean, we don't do very much custom bedding or things such as that. Every time we do a bed skirt, and I mean, we might do 2 a year, maybe. We have to relearn for ourselves how to do that.
Because you don't do it all.
God.
Yep.
And if you have to do that with every single project you do, You talk about a drain.
Yes.
Your soul will be so empty that you just can't.
Right.
And it's defeating.
Yeah.
So set yourself up for success, not failure.
Right. Right.
Just pick a lane and stay in the daggone thing. And you make friends around you that could help you do things that you can't do. I mean, that's just how we don't do caning. Why would we do that? A guy 2 doors down from me does caning. We send
Right.
it to him.
Exactly.
He
Exactly.
doesn't sew. He sends us the cushions for the daggone chairs. So it just, make friends. Stay in your lane and make friends in that lane.
I like that. On our last podcast, you said you wish your boss would fire you sometimes.
Oh God, I wish he would. He's such a blankety blank.
So you still consider quitting then, but you'd prefer to be fired.
Well, yeah, because if I get fired, I can collect unemployment. No, I joke about it. When you own your own business, you don't have the opportunity to get fired in that manner anyway. A client can certainly fire you, but you don't have a boss.
Right.
Per se. The clients are the bosses.
Right.
But you don't have a direct boss, so you can kind of do whatever. But I know that everyone is replaceable, even me. But if you're going to replace me, you're going to have 6 additional people on your payroll to replace me.
And all the tasks and jobs you do.
Every bit of it. So if my boss fires me, good luck, buddy. I'm going to take as much time as I want to in the bathroom. I'm going to be late every day if I want. I'm going to take a 3-hour lunch. I don't care. Come on.
I dare you. Fire me.
Yeah, bring it on.
Jonathan, how do you define success?
Oh, Lord.
In the last podcast, you talked about your finished work and your client's reaction to it. And we just discussed that a couple minutes ago. Does that still hold true as a definer of success for you?
I think so. I mean, that in conjunction with, teaching the people, the young people especially, and them catching on, the light bulb coming on, and them being able to work independently from me and so that I don't have to stand right there and say, okay, now do this. Okay, now do that. They just get it and they can just produce on their own, and just build the skills.
Okay.
And to me, to have people that can work independent and produce fabulous things, that's where it's at.
Okay.
And so far, so good.
Is there any one particular success that stands out for you in your business so far?
Why don't you ask a hard question, Oprah? I don't know. I mean, the fact that we've been in business for 6 years and 2 months, and everything has gone pretty smoothly, I would say that's the big success.
Okay.
I think they say that if a business makes it the first 3 years, they're okay. I mean, we've done it. And I'm not a business person. I just like to make beautiful things and teach people what I did. But I've surrounded myself with a wonderful CPA, a wonderful finance man, a wonderful insurance company, all that stuff. Yeah. And so it just takes a load off of me so I can do what I love.
But Jonathan, I think you strike a really important point. And a lot of us, and I hear it over and over again when I interview people, we don't love some of those parts of our business. And that's okay. But ignoring it or pretending it's not important to do our books or to have a good CPA or to have someone advise us financially, we can't ignore those things. No. And a lot of us do, because that's more hard work. And you can't just say, here are my books, handle it. No. You still need to know what's in that information. Yes. I remember hearing a story years ago, an interior designer who was very well known and very successful. His bookkeeper left, and he had just been handing her everything. And when he got a report, he went, okay. And his new bookkeeper came to him and said, why do you have so many phone lines? And found out that his bookkeeper and her family had been on his phone list for years. He had been paying their phone bills. Yeah. Because he never took the time to look at it. And he said, that was a lesson that changed me forever. And so those are things that, yes, we might want to say, oh, I just want to make pretty things. But if we don't earn money, then we can't make pretty things because we'll have to pay our bills somehow. So I think that's important for people to hear.
Well, I'll tell you, even though I have a wonderful CPA who's a longtime dear friend, I have to do my part on my end.
Yes.
So that he can do what he needs to do. And I keep 14 eyes on my books because I'm in control and it's my responsibility ultimately.
Yes.
Even when Britt does payroll for me, I still look over payroll before we submit it.
Right.
Because if no other reason, I want to make sure we didn't miss something.
Right.
That, I don't want to mess with somebody's money.
Yes. And I always want a second pair of eyes on something.
Absolutely. And so we do that for each other. And all the invoices that are generated, whether I do them or someone else does them, I look over them before we call the client. Anything related to money, I'm gonna look at it before it happens.
Okay.
Just because I'm the one that goes in QuickBooks multiple times a day and I look at the transactions that I hear people like, oh my God, I've got to do a whole year's worth of that. Oh, no, ma'am. I look at that stuff so much, I don't have to go and tell you who that fabric is for.
Gotcha.
You can just put it right in there and go right on. I cleared it off this morning because I need to know every little thing.
Okay. I think that's a good reminder to people.
And there's so many things in life like insurance. I know nothing about insurance. I don't know anything about doing taxes. So like I tell people, if you don't want to mow your yard because you don't want to do it, you don't have time to do it, you don't have a lawnmower, then earn your money and find somebody and pay them to do the things you can't do, don't want to do, all of that. As long as they're reputable.
Right. That frees you up to do other things and helps them earn a living.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jonathan, what do you do extremely well?
Oh my God, sleep. I don't know if I do anything well. I just do what I do. I don't know. I just do that's a hard question, Oprah. I just do what I do.
Twice in one podcast, you've called me Oprah. I'm not sure if I should be flattered or offended, Jonathan.
Oh, no, she does fabulous things and big money. So yes, do fabulous things and make
all right,
money.
I'll take that.
But I don't know if I do anything well. I just do what I do and hope for the best.
Okay.
And if for some reason it turns out I didn't do it well, hopefully we can have a redo and make it better next time.
Okay. All right. What do you not do so well?
Oh God, I think I don't have patience for a lot of things.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go into all that. I don't have patience for people that don't get it. And aren't willing to get it. I don't have patience for rude people. I ain't got time for that. But I would say the worst thing is I just don't have patience. As I've gotten older, I have a whole lot more patience than I did yesterday, but it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like I have less patience for some things.
Yes.
And more patience in general, in a way, being kind to other people who maybe aren't exactly able to do what I think they should be able to do. But yeah, there's some things I have very little patience for anymore.
Yeah, but there's things like, when we're working on projects in the shop and somebody has an issue with something, and again, they're now intimate with it and I'm across the room.
Right.
So when they're over freaking out, I just go over, okay, now what's going on? Okay, well, let's fix it. Here's what we're going to do to try to fix it. Or here's what we're going to do. And then they'll say, well, how do you know to do that? Well, I don't. I've done this long enough that I'm a creative problem solver by nature. So I can see things a little differently. And here's what we're going to try. It may not work, but as long as you don't cut anything off or delete it, well, we can probably fix it. So for that, I have an immense patience.
Okay. But otherwise, not so much.
Not so much. I mean, when people come to me and they don't read the sign on the door that says appointment only, well, I just have a question. Okay, what's your question? Well, how much does it cost? No, that is not a question.
That's an appointment.
That is a version of a question, but that is an appointment. And this is how we operate here.
Yeah.
Well, can I just show you on my phone? You can, but you're not going to get an answer from me.
Yeah.
Well, I have it in the car. Can you come look? I can come look. I can take a picture. Give me your email address. I have to marinate on this.
Yeah.
things like that just send me into orbit.
Yeah.
But I'll deal with them because that's what we do.
Right.
Do it
Right.
gracefully.
Yes.
And then they go on out the door and I'm like, blankety blank, blank, blank. But
get it out of your system.
Get it out and then drink some coffee and go right back. So,
Jonathan, where do you see yourself and your business in 5 years?
I would like to think that this crazy journey that I'm on is going to provide the pinnacle of education, not only with upholstery, but with other things. And I want to be the go-to person. If somebody says, I need to learn so-and-so, the next words out of the other person's mouth is, call Jonathan.
Okay.
That's the Mecca. That's the place to go. That's the hub of education. And that's what I hope.
Okay.
And I think that's where we're headed, because there's some wonderful things coming that I can't really talk about yet, but we'll talk about it on the next podcast.
Okay. I'm going to schedule it now. So
yeah, go ahead.
On the books.
It's going to be juicy.
All right. So how can people find you? You have an Instagram account. Do you have a Facebook page as well?
Yeah. So it's mostly Instagram is my favorite thing because it's easy.
Okay.
So it's Unsprung Upholstery on Instagram. And you'll see the little green spring logo.
Okay.
We are on Facebook as well, but I have difficulty switching between my personal account and my business account because they're both different.
Okay.
So I do post things there as well. If you need to contact me, we also have a website. It's UnsprungUpholstery.com. We also have the education branch, UnsprungUniversity.com.
Okay.
If anybody wants to know what's going on in either or you can go to either website and sign up on the newsletter. And we send a newsletter out the first of every month. And we usually only do it once. We don't spam your crazy email, and let you know what we're doing and what's going on.
Okay. I'll put links to all of that in the show notes. So if people are listening, they can just pull up the episode and click on the link. So,
yeah.
So as much as I could talk to you all day, we both have things to do.
Yes,
and you've given lots of advice, but what is one final piece of advice that you would give to someone who's either new in the business or someone who's been around for a while?
Make something pretty today with love. Because if you make it with love, the end result will be loved.
Jonathan, that's beautiful.
Let's cross stitch that for the refrigerator.
I'm thinking, where can I put that? Where I need that. I'm going to get a Post-it note and write that and put it right on my desk.
It's true. I learned that a long time ago. The first workroom I worked at, she always said, and I'm still friends with her today, by the way. She said, always make this stuff with love. And if you do, it will show in the end result.
Yes, it will.
Story. And if you're mad the whole way through and you're fighting it, whatever, it's going to show in the end.
That is so true. I just finished a whole bunch of pillows, and out of the 10 of them, 2 of them I did not like, and I did not sew them with love, and they were a pain in my butt. So you're right. I really needed to love this. I really needed to love those pillows a little more than I did, but I got paid for them, so I'm good now.
Yeah, there you go. That's the seal with a kiss right there.
Yeah. Jonathan, it's always a pleasure to spend time with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I appreciate it.
Well, listen, thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to doing this again and seeing you soon.
I hope so. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Seal.
It is always a pleasure for me to talk with Jonathan, whether we have the good fortune to be in person or on a Zoom call. And I really loved catching up with him, hearing how his business has changed, and that he has some exciting things in the works, some that we talked about and some that are still a secret. And by the way, he didn't tell me what they were when we stopped recording. So I'm going to be as excited as all of you to hear what happens with Jonathan and his plans for the future. It'll be exciting to see what happens, and you'll just have to stay tuned, and I'll just have to do another podcast with him. During the recording, Jonathan and I mentioned the Real Workroom tour that Janelle Deck and Kelly McCrory did, and you can find that on YouTube. I will put a link to that in the show notes, and we've also included that Real Workroom tour in the latest edition of the Drapery and Design Digital Digest, which I'll also put a link to. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day.